We are joined by an esteemed panel of experts, Mr. Atasmul Haq, Asia Pacific, Director Asia Pacific at DCI India, Mr. Arun Kumar Sarvanan, Standards Engineer at Bureau of India Standards, Ms. Ashfia Taimur, Associate Counselor at CII, and now Ms. Neetu Jay, Founder and Managing Director of Pinaki Green Tech Solution Provision Limited. Thank you for all joining us, and I now invite our chair to begin the session.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. And we are talking about new building materials and technologies during this session. And we have a very distinguished panel of speakers over here who will be talking about the latest materials, latest technologies, green and sustainable materials, etc., etc. I'd like to share one thing. Since we started our careers, things have changed so dramatically that from a time when we were short of materials, everything was under control, cement was being, issued on quota basis, and so on and so forth. Number of materials are very few: bricks, cement, steel. These were the basic materials. Today, we are flooded with, variety of materials, both in terms of structures as well as finishes. And therefore, it is very difficult to keep a track of what to put where. And understanding the materials is very important. They are physical qualities, they are chemical qualities, they are, strengths, etc. So many aspects have to be, viewed before we choose a material for a particular application. And therefore, today we will discuss, number one, the various materials that are available, the standards which are set forth by BIS. Mr. Arun Kumar is here. He is expert on that. He will be telling the latest standards that have been set forth for evaluation of the quality and state of materials. So, with these few remarks, I'll start with, let us say, first of all, who would like to speak first? Okay, you please come over.
Good afternoon, and thanks for coming here. Today, I'm standing here to talk about benefits of trenchless methods for the urban planning. Okay. So, to start with, I like to start with the challenges. The challenges remain aging infrastructure. Some of the older cities like Calcutta, Delhi, Ahmedabad, the civic amenity has become older and it needs to be rehabilitated. We have clogged water lines, we have clogged sewer lines, and very unfortunate event recently happened in MP where the water and sewage got mixed up. And all this needs to be resolved, all this needs to be rehabilitated. On top of this challenge, our underground is one challenge, the above ground is changing too. We are having a new metros coming, the new flyovers are coming in every city, buildings are coming, and all this is also putting pressure. As if this was not enough, if we look at it, what was our water consumption 10 years ago versus what is our water consumption today, we realize that our consumptions have doubled. That's for the basic utility like water. Our electricity consumption has increased, so that also requires to be augmented. Most of us now need fiber in our home because we need 100 Mbps or 50 Mbps data. That means more utility, and then government is going to give us more piped gas. City gas is becoming a norm, as more than 100 cities in India have been approved for the city gas. All these utilities are supposed to be going underground. And this is a challenge to make sure that city is catering to these utilities, at the same time it remains beautiful. Trenchless technology, just to go back in history, is not a very old technology. Way back in 1980s, it was developed to early 80s, cross water bodies. Then they thought, oh, if we can cross water body, why not a railway line? And now, we want to cross everything. We want to cross our buildings, our highways, our subways, and all that. We call it underground is crowded, and I always love to get this picture up. This picture was taken by me near Apollo Hospital more than 10 years ago. I'm sure the situation will be much worse today. This is how busy our underground is. As you can see, utility after utility. So it's very, very important to make sure to use the right technology to ensure that the installation of the new utility is done in a proper manner. Why it matters? Traffic, limited right of way, dense underground utility, I just showed you the picture. The beauty of a trenchless technology remains it shifts the project from a street excavation to a subsurface. Now, when we are putting utilities underground, we are keeping the city beautiful. You are making sure that infrastructure is available and the citizens are catered with the need. The fact remains that basic needs used to be the food and water and residence. Now the basic needs itself have expanded to electricity and a fiber data and a gas connection at home. So all these needs to be installed, and that means trenchless. That means installing it with the minimal excavation. So before I go forward, I'd like to give a definition: installation of a pipeline with minimal continuous excavation. Trenchless doesn't mean magic that I can just put a line underground without doing an excavation. Typical trenchless requires between 5% of a excavation, sometimes even 1 or 2%. So between 1% to 5% excavation still happens, but rest of it can be done trenchless, and that's the beauty. The machine you are seeing, most of you must have seen working on the side of a road silently, putting sometimes fiber, sometimes gas, sometimes sewer, sometimes electricity. It's one of the very versatile technologies. Trenchless technology is broadly divided into new installation and rehabilitation. New installation is installation of the new pipe, and rehabilitation is making sure that the old infrastructure, which was 50-year-old, 70-year-old, which is now broken, is rehabilitated without excavating, without creating chaos. That same pipeline is restored. And there are multiple technologies around it. I will not bore you all with the details. This is just a snapshot for the new installation. Multiple technologies, but what I will like to emphasize here is what it can do. Your utilities as small as 40 millimeter dia to 2.4 meter diameter can easily be positioned with the help of these technologies. The lengths are from 30 meters to 3 kilometers. And I'm proud to say that some of my colleagues have just made the world record in India by doing it up to 4 kilometers of a gas pipeline. 4 kilometers, entering at one position and getting out after 4 kilometers. That's how powerful this technology is. All kind of materials can be installed, from HDPE, PE, steel pipe, GRP, and many more. So it's a very versatile technology. All kind of utilities can be done. This is another example. I have taken help of AI to generate 2 images. One is where we are doing a continuous installation of a sewage pipe through an open cut excavation. As you can see, the whole road is blocked. The other one is micro tunneling, whereas we are making a pit, going inside, and there onward the up to 700, 800 meter is laid without coming out of it. And that's the beauty of a trenchless technology I just wanted we all to see today. It improves the safety as much more area is excavated. Utility strikes. In fact, I would like you to see this. This again is partly AI generated, partly based on what the real data is. As you can see, below road is as congested as above road, sometimes even more congested. And in case my sewage pipe there is damaged, can I reach that pipe safely? Absolutely no. But can I use trenchless technology to rehabilitate that pipe and make it available again? Absolutely yes. That's the beauty of a technology I wanted all of us to be introduced to today. Before we recap, benefits: avoid conflict zones, existing utilities, above ground infrastructure, minimal inconvenience to the public. And we all forget that when we are making the roadblock, we are deducting from the economy of a city. All our citizens are paying through their time, through the fuel. High accuracy, mechanized execution, on-grade sewage is going on, faster and safer installation. The other beauty of a trenchless technology is that it can make the project be done much, much faster, sometimes as much as 5 times faster than the conventional technology. But as with every technology, to get a full benefit out of this technology, we have to use the right selection framework, because there are multiple technologies and sometimes wrong technology is pushed, and that creates a problem. The technology can be selected based on alignment needs, diameters, lengths, ground conditions, accuracy, surface constraint, environmental sensitivity, and so on. Again, the same picture, I wanted to introduce you to how the HDD works silently on the side of a road. Everything else is working. The machine is rightly on the side. What this does is, and there are more than 5,000 such machines today in India, so there are enough number of players available in India to do the job. Fiber, gas, high tension electric lines, water and sewage, all these utilities are installed with the help of this technology. Pipe installation from 40 mm to 1200 mm dia is typically installed with this technology. Higher diameters, some other technology becomes much more economical. From 30 meter to 3000 meters, as I said, recently one of our colleague has done 4 kilometers also with the same technology. The pipe materials installed typically by the HDD technology is HDPE, PE and steel. I just thought before completing the presentation on this, I introduce at least one of the technologies. I represent as a member of a governing council of IND-STT, and IND-STT is an apex body for all trenchless technology matters. We have published Indian Code of Practices. We publish schedule of rate every year. We organize annual no-dig show, and we definitely do various training programs. 2 of our main programs which are coming up, one is a CIPP workshop in April, where we are talking about how to rehabilitate water and sewage lines through one specific technology, and getting experts from Germany to do that. And we invite some of the interested people to come join us for that training. And of course, our signature No-Dig Show 2026, which will happen in December at NSIC Exhibition Complex. And I like to invite you all to the show to learn more about trenchless technology and know about the details, where for 2 days, all we will be talking about is trenchless technology. With this, I thank you all and invite any questions. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good evening. So I'll be talking about how cool roof and thermal insulation, that is an integrated strategy for heat resilient urban buildings. So introducing this, I feel pleasure that I was part of the releasing the policy of Telangana cool roof policy, and sharing the dice with the ministers. So it was a proud moment for me. And it was a dream coming true, because I have been working on cool roofs since 16 years. And now exactly the market, the government is acknowledging that yes, this technology is exactly can do wonders. We exactly had CII Innovation Award also. This I'm especially telling because all the systems that I'll be telling is as per the Indian construction type. Because normally what happens if we import some product and it is not compatible with our construction type, then it doesn't work. So sustainable performance is one of the criteria whenever we are designing any product system. Another is like I'm also associated with CRRC, that is Cool Roof Rating Council, an educator with them, and we are founding members for their wall program also. CRRC is the nodal agency who exactly specifies and do research about the cool roof technology. So we all know that the problem is here urban heat island, and there are a lot of consequences of the heat that is increasing. Cities are getting hotter. And with the temperature rise, thermal discomfort, AC uses, energy uses, grid loads, health issues, fire issues, like labor productivity, labor working time, all of these are increasing. And this is the vicious cycle of urban heat island that is happening. And you will see that the cities, the structure, the solid structure traps the energy, keep it with the building, and till midnight exactly it keeps on releasing the heat. And this heat exactly goes into the atmosphere and causes a canopy, like छतरी की तरह वो बना देता है हीट की, and उसकी वजह से GHG emissions पास नहीं हो पाते और वापस से हीट बिल्डिंग सिटी के अंदर ही प्रेशराइज होती है. और नीचे जो बिल्डिंग्स हम लोग कंजेस्टेड बिल्डिंग बनाते हैं तो दो बिल्डिंग के बीच में भी नीचे हीट ट्रैप होती है. तो जो सिटी के अंदर हीट ट्रैप हो जाती है बिकॉज ऑफ द सॉलिड स्ट्रक्चर्स वी आर क्रिएटिंग, दिस इज कॉल्ड अर्बन हीट आइलैंड इम्पैक्ट. सो building the urbanization with the solid structure that is concrete and metal is contributing to the increase in UHI. Though other areas are also there that contributes, but this is the major contribute. So what are the solutions for this? So first area is like how we can see that the building doesn't get heated up, because if building is getting heated up, then only we have to increase the AC, because thermal discomfort, heat ingress will be increased. So first is how we can reduce the solar heat ingress and heat generation of the building so it doesn't get heated up. Second is the thermal insulation. So the cold transmittance and the heat transmittance both are controlled. That means our AC that is there, it has more efficient and works for better duration. So that is the thermal insulation. And then water protection, and recently we have launched percolating pavements, that is pervious pavements that recharge waters. So we'll talk about the cool surfaces first. So ideally what cool surface does is it reflects the IR radiation. You can see in this the dark blue area is of IR radiation. So in sun, everything gets heated up because 60% of the radiation is IR radiation, and this radiation is responsible to generate heat. So in this orange building, you can see that IR radiations are getting absorbed and the surface temperature gets heated up to 60 to 70 degree high. That means if atmospheric temperature is 40, the surface temperature of the concrete surface will be 60 to 70 degree, and the metal surface temperature in peak summers will be 70 to 80 degree. And that is why you're not able to move barefoot on those structures. So what this coating does is it reflects the IR radiation. The radiation those were generating heat are reflected back into the atmosphere, and thus heat is not generated. So the biggest output is it reduces the surface temperature by 20 to 25 degrees centigrade, and indoor temperature what we have recorded is reduced by 4 to 8 degrees centigrade. So what type of products are there? Like there are products for metal roofs, there are products for concrete roof, then reflective tiles are there. So this is the way it can be applied on the roof, and it gives cooling of the roof. If you walk on the roof, you can easily walk and you will feel cool below your feet. So it gives thermal comfort without AC also. So what is the difference between a normal white paint and a reflective paint? So because in market, like after the Telangana roof policy, many small players are there and somebody is using white paint as high SRI. But the difference is that you can see if it is a cooling paint, it will show the reflectivity into the IR spectrum. You can see, I don't know how to use that, but you can see the reflectivity into the IR spectrum also. And if it is a white paint, then it will show reflectivity only the visible spectrum. The center portion will be reflected. And if it is a cool paint, it will reflect the IR radiation also. So this is the difference of the cool paint and the white paint. In cooling paint, the biggest thing is that it should not reflect the UV radiation. Because if UV radiations are reflected, so it will exactly cause harm to the like birds or animals or human beings, whoever is walking on that. So another thing when you're deciding for any sustainable performance, so you have to see it should not peel off. Blistering is one of the challenge. Water impregnation, algae development, yellowness and discoloration. These are the things if we do not use the right product and we do not select the right product. So what are the features that specify that yes, this product is a good product? So if we talk about the technical terms, parameters, then high SRI index should be there. High reflectivity should be there. That means IR radiation should be reflected more. And another is high emissivity should be there. So you must have observed that if during summers, if you go and start your fan till midnight, if you're not starting the AC, it will keep on releasing heat slowly. And you will see that the buildings also keep releasing the heat in the atmosphere also. So what happens is the buildings keep the heat trapped, absorb the heat trapped, and then they release slowly. So what is cool roof should do is, it should release the heat fast so that the surface will get cooled down. So it should have high reflectivity and high emissivity and high SRI value. But to make this a sustainably performed product, so you should have strong bonding with the substrate, balance of expansion and contraction, elasticity should be there, water protection, dust protection, algae protection, scratch resistance, UV resistance, all these features should be there. So considering this, there are two variants that are there for this. One is the Premium Cool Top Premium and another is the Cool Top Eco. So the affordable one, Cool Top Eco, is as good as any other coating that is available into the market. But when we talk about the Cool Top Premium, so this is a complete system that has been awarded by CII Innovation Award. And this is as per the requirement of like 3 products are used and having different roles. The primer will be having very strong bonding. The second layer will be having very good elasticity and reflectivity. And the third layer will be having very good UV resistant, water protection, dust protection, algae protection, so that the life of the roof and the complete building also can be increased. So the life is 8+ years for the premium system. For the affordable, but it is 3+ years. Now, as I said, reflective tiles are also there, but it has SRI of almost 90. So it is being used normally where in cafe or like very like cafe restaurants, there exactly you can use the tiles. Otherwise, we recommend to go for premium system. So the benefits that we get is like almost 30% of AC requirement is reduced. ISHRE says that 1 degree temperature reduced, that means 6% of energy conservation is there. Reduced insulation requirement if your premises are not AC, then you can exactly avoid insulation and you can have reflective coating. And if you are having AC, then also thickness of the insulation can be maintained. Increased occupant thermal comfort. This is drastically like felt. Like people can tell you from the day one that how they are feeling. Labor productivity is there. Solar panel efficiency is improved by having this coating. So we have a case study for that, we'll see afterwards. Now when we talk about the mass adoption of the cool tops, say like Telangana roof policy, say if city completely is being covered, then we can reduce the city temperature by 2 to 3 degrees centigrade. UHI impacts can be reduced, and this is the alone coating and technology that offsets the CO2 emission by only 10 metric tons of CO2 emissions can be offset by only 1,000 square feet of area, like directly also and indirectly also. So there are many other benefits like SDG, ESG, environmental application. Now these are certain applications on the metal roofs. This was done 6-7 years back, Asian Paints. This is for the Warangal city before exactly release of the policy. These are concrete roof, Proflex roof, any type of roof we can apply this. This is the example of IGBC Hyderabad headquarter, wherein they were going for net zero and we had a cool roof installed, and they have 15 to 20% of energy efficiency by applying these coatings. This is another example wherein like good temperature difference was there, and ROI only 4 months. Now, we are talking about the roof, but now it is being talked about the walls also. So Cool Wrap is the wall paint. It is as good as any other paint, but is having high reflectivity. Apart from weather resistant, it also gives cooling effect. So your complete building envelope exactly is not getting heated up. So when it is not getting heated up, the heat ingress will be not there, and you'll have a lot of benefits. Nowadays, to reduce the urban heat island impact, so if you talk about the city cover, 60% is of pavements and roads. So these are the coatings for the roads and pavements also that are being applied, and normally they are in 4 colors, but we can vary the colors, and these are being adopted by the cities to mitigate the UHI impacts. And there's a study in NASA that if you apply on the roads also, so you can reduce the surrounding temperature also. So it is applicable on almost all the substrate, and we have applied on every type of substrate, every type of functional body. You can see we have applied on tanks also, the tanks that is carrying pressurized carbon dioxide. So now comes the thermal insulation. Now thermal insulation, as I said, we are designing every product and every system, and it's not only one product. We have like complete system that we have designed. For example, in the cool roof also, like if it is a VDF roof, the primer will be different. If it is a asphalt base, then the primer will be different. So as per the substrate, the product can be is different. So when we talk about the thermal insulation, normally conventional products are being used, either PU foam or XPS boards are used. The biggest challenge is the crack development and the tile debonding. These are the 2 biggest challenges, and water seepage is the challenge. So what happens is here exactly our construction is of concrete, and then we apply the sandwich layer of PU foam or XPS board. Now we again apply the either brick bed Coba or the IPS. So what is happening is on the top and in the bottom there is concrete surface material, and in the middle what we are using is a different material. So all the 3 layers have different thermal expansion coefficient, and all the 3 layers will expand and contract with different temperature and different time. So that will cause structural movement and crack development is there. So insulated buildings exactly enhances the duration and impact of AC, reduces cold and hot transmitters both, and it can be applied on roof and walls both. The best part is it is made of the concrete family. So all the material, all the components are cementous and of the same family. So the expansion coefficient is in line with the all the 3 layers and are very integrated and in synergy with the concrete structure. So we have better insulation, crack development is not there, and high compressive strength is there, no water seepage is there. And another difference that is there, that if ever water impregnates, then also it is fast drying and it dry fast. So insulation impact is not completely overruled like in PU foam and all. This is the way it is the roof screed. It comes in bags, and on the side you just mix with water and a bit of chemical, and then you can just screed it out. This is the way you can screed out. This is the complete system that we have designed, that is SIS roofing system, cool, insulated, sustainable roofing system, and every product has been designed by us so that every product is very much compatible and integrated to each other. And in this case, the complete responsibility is taken by us. So it's not waterproofing person is another and insulation agency is different. So complete integrated system is there. So after the installation system, you can vary with the design system that you wish. You can directly apply tile, you can directly do M20 or M15 screed. You can have like any other solution that you want to have that you can do. These are the certain stages. So it is screed out after, and this is being cured by wet rugs. And then for slopes, screeding is being done and cool roof is done. So what is the benefit of this system? You can see on the top, it is cool tops, that is means reflective coating. So at the top itself, you have temperature difference of 20 degree. So you have very less heat that has to be controlled getting ingress. So after that, you have metal screed, uniform layer of thermal insulation and waterproofing. So all the three things are being taken care of. Waterproofing also, insulation also, seamless roof, no joints in it, and completely reflective cooling and slope, everything is being taken care of. Similarly, it is the wall plaster, and again it is from the same concrete family. This is the assembly. After the primer, after the primer, you have to apply uniform layer of wall plaster, and similarly you can have color paint also reflective. So you have a complete integrated system. These are the stages. Any conventional machine also can do it. And see, you can have a complete building envelope of insulated and reflective. As I said, these are pervious pavers. Water exactly gets through it and easily. So energy efficiency is not about a single material. It's about how the entire building envelope performs over time. So this is my scanner. You can scan to follow me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, having heard all the three speakers, I'll request Mr. Arun Kumar. He's from BIS, and he will talk about the various standards that are being set for different materials and new technologies. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Respected colleagues on the dais and the chair and all the participants and delegates here. Of course, you may not see some colorful slides like the first two speakers because standards are black and white in color, right? Anyway, in standards, we are from the National Standards Body of India, particularly from the Civil Engineering Department. We are working on standards making on 17 different departments. And I come from the civil engineering, and the chairperson in the opening remarks also mentioned that in the initial time of his career also, that there were hardly few materials which have been typically used. But today we have a plethora of materials, and what are the requirements for such materials? Are there any requirement to standardize them first of all? If so, can we have an umbrella type of standards on them directly? And if that is also possible, what is the life or guarantee, or that's what Ms. Neetu Jain also was talking about under certification by a third party, etc. So standards are being made by any of these 37 departments, technical committees within the civil engineering department. And roughly product specification standards are amounting to 40% in civil engineering. For example, 1786 is the steel reinforcement bar, which we have been typically seeing, or the 269, which is on the ordinary Portland cement, etc. But all these are established standards on, say, reinforcement steel, pre-stressing steel, doors, or timber doors, or cement matrix products. Hundreds of standards are already published on them. But let's go ahead and find out what are the things which are now coming up, or which has now come up in the industry in the last couple of years, and what are the things which are coming up in the next few years also. Abhi sir just mentioned, Haksa mentioned about trenchless technologies. There are situations where you cannot put metallic items in the rebars. So this type of rebar, the standard is going to give you the performance requirement of such GFRP bars also. So this, when an Indian standard is made on a material or a technology, it becomes relatively easy for any user to absorb that particular technology or material in his or her project, so that the confidence is directly inbuilt because of the standards available. Similarly, pre-coated steel bars, which can be used particularly in coastal environment or where you have challenges in providing the thickness to the cover of your concrete elements, be it your shear wall or your exposed columns or exposed beams. So the standard on 19068 is there for zinc coated bars. And similarly, roofing sheets. Madam just mentioned, I'm giving a competition to her, if you can say so. You need not put any other coating on top of it, or if you have these pre-painted sheets also. Similarly, all these materials comes in big forms and sizes. So that means on your site, you will have least working time. So your manpower is also reduced, time is also reduced. So under standards parlance, we have tried to have standards for every material under the sky or what is typically being used, but it is for the users to select the right type of material for his choice. For example, aluminum composite panel. The standard has come in 2021, but you can see there are 5 different grades, of which the last 2 grades are very important in terms of the performance. We all know about what happened in England, Grenfell Tower incident. And then what happened, what was the report of those professionals, etc. Ideally, in our country also, many good builders and project proponents are going for grade 5 or grade 4 for the exterior cladding, particularly to have proper separation and fire resistance characteristics. Of course, grade 1, 2, 3 can be used for other appropriate aspects. And similarly, fire rated glass. So any glass cannot or need not be used. So there are about CHD 10 is the committee under chemical department glass and glassware. 14900 is the standard for float glass, which directly comes on the float line in a glass. But that glass is specially treated with some borosilicate like elements, and then this fire resistant glass specification standard has also come out. Similarly, acrylic sheets, uska bhi standards hai. Similarly, valves. You need not keep on turning your plumbing line valves. It's very simple, a lever, only a simple 90-degree turn on or off, as simple as that. But it needs to have the performance. It should resist the leaking pressure. It should be subject to that type of hardness of the water, if it is a groundwater or if it is a gelboard water, etc. So the composition, the chemical nature of the material which goes in the valve, as well as the operating mechanics, as well as its life, everything is governed or set in the Indian standard. As a user or as a builder or as an architect or an engineer, we just have to find out which are those valves or which are those building materials which qualify for this particular or which perform to this specification. And similarly, when it comes to at a great level of soil protection or even canal lining or such other hilly area construction, geotextiles, there is a textile committee within BIS. I come from civil, as I said. There is a textile department. They have got 3 different committees only relating to civil engineering related, technical textile related matters, etc. And modular and semi-modular and non-modular switches, sockets, with fully automatic systems. There are Indian standards which are coming up for them also. And say for example, nano coating or waterproof coating or water repellent coating. So you talk of a material which is commonly used by the industry or the people. We try to bring out a standard or we try to give the qualification so that anybody can comfortably use it. This is an example of what all our municipal organizations or municipal bodies are largely using these days. So that in the quickest possible time, they do the cut and cover technique so that your drains can also be cleaned later on if you have right size of modular materials like this, so that you have an inbuilt hook also in them. And if it is a floor slab, if it is a floor element of your pavement, then you can have a larger blocks. It's a large size block. It's called as paving flag. Earlier we used to have a small stones like this, precast blocks. Now there is an Indian standard for laying this precast paver blocks also for your just information. But this is a specification standard, grass pavers. There is a clause in the part 4 of NBC on fire and life safety, which says that when a fire tender or a rescue vehicle is coming into your vehicle, into your property, then that particular paver block or the load carrying capacity should be such that. So this particular standard is giving you strength grades of various sizes of such paving grades as well. Okay, I'll try to finish off soon. And similarly for doors, windows and sliders, what are their performance requirements also have come out. There is no specification. Of late, we are making standards which are going to perform for an intended splash of air or intended splash of water. So you can simulate if I am in Chennai in a coastal area or in Goa or in Uttarakhand or in Delhi or in the northeast, you can select what type of resistance or ingress of air, similarly noise, and similarly water. You can select using these Indian standards also. Very common example, largely misused element. There is an Indian standard even for cord extension sets. So that is the amount of importance safety is getting, and we are also coming under the Consumer Affairs Ministry. So we deemed fit and accordingly standard has come. When urbanization is happening in a big way, you cannot continuously keep digging and make a manual septic tanks, etc. Of course, only less than 1,000 towns and cities in the country have got sewage systems. Rest of the country need to have some other type of package sewage treatment. I guess one of the manufacturers also put a stall like this. So there are Indian standards including on this packaged STP. The previous one is only a septic tank. This is a packaged STP. So you will be sending in foul water, but at the other end of it, it will be something like a treated water which will come out. You can use it for your gardening or other aspects. This particular standard is matching with the CPCB norms also. Those norms have also been brought into the Indian standard on this. Even small nails or screws or variety of such items for gypsum plaster boards or metallic boards or timber boards or your plywood boards, particle boards, etc. There are a variety of standards even for those screws element, nailing elements. So that is their importance. So the right tool, right material has to be used even for this bitumen roads. Trackless emulsion, the latest type. Of course, we do standards on largely on building materials, but these types are being used within the building compound wall whenever you do roads. Even for them, the standards have come. But apart from these recently made Indian standard, what is an ideal material? When you make any material, we are going to take up from the mother earth, and we cannot forever keep taking the materials. So there is a challenge that either we run out of resources, or such extracted material maybe throwing out a VOC emission, or there is a cost in transportation, etc. So, but what is an ideal sustainable material? Because many times project proponents or owners, they would like to go for certification or greenness or claim to their sellers or to the buyers that mine is a sustainable building or mine is a sustainable project, etc. So the architect or an engineer has got a very important role to find out what are those aspects which he needs to keep in mind in selecting the right material. So what is the right sustainable material which is going to answer most of these questions to the extent of even recyclability, and whether it is used from renewable material or whether it is used from industrial waste based material, etc. So in the life cycle assessment is what is largely being talked for the last about 7-8 years, particularly when people are talking about grading projects and giving them ranking systems, etc. This particular standard which has now come in the approach to sustainability chapter of National Building Code of India, it is also talking about the life cycle assessment. These are the parameters, consider them. One or more, not just one, few or more of these elements will be applicable for the exterior elements, for interior used elements, etc. So guidance are there. For example, the last cement commonly used by that Swiss giant company LC3, it's nothing but calcined clay limestone cement. It has got limestone to the tune of only 40%. The rest of it is only clay which is burnt, properly ground, and then other additives are there. You can go for other than OPC and PPC or PSC and the composite cement. Today LC3 is also available in the market. There are manufacturers there. Now only thing is that we have to find out whether it is nearby available and where do we want to use it. This we intend to bring out, and I think a small pamphlet is available with BIS as to what are the right activities on which various types of cement can be used for masonry or rendering or plastering, be it composite. And similarly, we have tried to, this is not laid out in a standard, but we have come out with a small pamphlet sort of a thing, which I have tried to put in this particular slide, where it is highly recommended, where it is not recommended, or where it can be used. To that extent, we have got in, and even the revision of the concrete code is incorporating this particular suggestion. We have with us the previous member secretary also. So the 383 standard which was revised is now going to permit up to 100% of artificial aggregates which are brought out from steel industry, copper industry or iron industry or any other type of industrial waste can also get into your aggregates without compromising the strength as well as magnetism or performance. Similarly, for the fly ash based or other silica fume based material can also be used. Similarly, geopolymer concrete ka standard hai. Here you don't have any hydraulic cement in it. You have a combination of alkali as well as which will initiate the action, and then you will have fly ash in it, so that when they are combined, it's going to give you the binding property. I like this picture very much. It is an airport in England. You can see the flooring. It is still terrazzo, and even today it is terrazzo. For the 2 years back I came across through my friend, they still are using terrazzo flooring. It's more than 50 years to the airport. So this is the life what a building material can give you. We need to continue to the use of that material for its lifetime. You can keep on maintaining it, and also see the roofing element. It is light in weight, it's foldable, and see the lighting also, focused LED lighting as we have here, and the large amount of use of glass with an overhang also. So such is the importance of choosing of materials, technology as well as blending with nature. So I personally like this particular photo for various reasons, so I thought I'll share with you. Madam also talked about exterior cladding elements or lining elements, etc. So likewise it goes for other than gypsum or lime based materials also. Glass ke liye, as I mentioned, CH3 10 mein खूब सारा standards hai, and then performance based standards are already coming up. Thermal insulation materials. Now only thing is that I also saw the picture of Neetu Jain madam. She showed 7 different layers, starting from your concrete and then your insulation and then other filler. So that means a structural engineer should keep in mind what are the dead loads which are going to come up. So everybody as a building professional should know what are the density, what are the life and all those things, so that when they give a project design to the member or to that particular owner, he is given the right choice and right advice so that the building can last for 70, 80 or 90 years. So whatever I have talked about so far is largely covered or addressed in the building code as well as in the revision. You can call or you can ask what is the requirement of BIS for new and alternate materials. There are up to 14 such tests. I have listed around 9-10 of them here. More of these tests or a combination of these tests have to be considered by the engineer in charge of any new material or any innovative technology, and if he is satisfied with an independent third-party laboratory result, he can comfortably use it. That particular provision is already there in the part 5 of building materials chapter, which is giving a green signal for both the authorities as well as the professionals as well as the owner also. I'll stop in the last 2 slides. We were hearing about green labeling or green materials, etc. There is an internationally established standard also, which has been now adopted by our chemical department in BIS, and many manufacturers are going for such environmentally conscious label also. To the tune of government is thinking of putting these labels on cement and steel also in the coming times. So anyway, what is the carbon being captured or carbon being emitted from per unit ton of material or per meter square of material? All those things are coming up in the next revision of building code in the sustainability chapter. Anytime it will come. But I come from the BIS, so we are also doing the certification activity, and ISI mark you all know very much, and you can get all those details directly from an app. There are, as I said, more than 800 standards are there in NBC 2016 only on materials, and then 600 plus standards on testing. You can find all of them directly in this particular publication, which was released about 7-8 months back, up-to-date information. But if you want more information, you can directly go to this particular app of BIS. You can access printed standards, you can access draft standards, you can even check whether your gold jewelry is also whether pure gold or not by putting this HUID number. So you can do anything with this particular app, I can say. And Indian standards, as you all are aware, for the since 2020 or so, any Indian standard or special publication can be downloaded unless it is an ISO adoption. You can do it from this particular website. I'll stop here, and I thank Municipalika and the organizers, and more importantly, fellow panelists and the chair and the audience. I thank you. Maybe I'll take some questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arun Kumar. Now I request Ms. Aisha, Asfia.
A very good evening to all of you. I have the last presentation today, and I won't take much of your time, not to bore you also. But building on to what Arun Kumar ji has said, choosing the right material. We have standards, we have a lot of options, but how do we choose the right material at the right time for our building? So I'm here representing Green Pro, an eco-labeling product. This has been accredited by Global Eco-Labeling Network Type 1, which does the third-party verification for products. A quick introduction about us. We are part of Confederation of Indian Industry, and Green Pro is part of the CII Green Business Center. Our motto and mission is to help India emerge as a global leader in green business by 2030. So far, we have certified about 14,200 products across the building sector, which helps each individual to identify what is the right product for their building. When I say right product, it's how sustainable is your product and how sustainable will your building be. We are working with around 700 companies in educating them about the system, around 39 different categories covering from building products, industrial products, as well as the consumer products. And across 18 states has identified these eco-labeling products and also incorporated green procurement guidelines in the PWD and PSUs. So a quick run through, as I said, our product categories range from the building product, talking about the energy efficient materials, recyclable components, along with the industrial products, which contributes to the low emission equipments, resource efficient processes. Then about the consumer products, which talks about the biodegradable goods, eco-friendly packaging. Last but not the least, about the facility management, about how the management in a building, while its operational status maintained. Talking about the smart building technology and maintenance optimization. So a quick run through to all the 4 verticals that we have at the Green Pro. First and foremost, why we all here present is about the building sector. We all know the demand is drastically increasing, the GDP of the cities are increasing, and there is a demand for new construction. And hence there is a demand for low carbon product where we have to make it and increasingly available as a market. All the developers, architects are making their smart choices to move towards a net zero goal. We are here to discuss the same. So eco-labeling, Green Pro, has become a norm where most of the buildings are adopting this in their construction. So this helps us in reducing the carbon footprint of the building in the embodied carbon stage. The first, talking about the building sector. Among the building sector products, we have certified around 2,850 products, build capacity for more than 30+ organizations. And among the new categories, we are yet to build with close relation with the architecture firms. Internationally also, we have covered about, internationally,
Hello.
internationally also we are working with more than 10+ organizations. So a quick run through about the product category that we have. We have more than 30+ product category covering about 95%. Most of it, you can see the range here, which is about the boards, false ceiling, plaster, carpets, cements, construction and demolition material, doors and windows, laminates. So name it, you have it. So how this will be helpful for an individual is that if you are starting to build your building, you can go to our website, check all the products under each of this category and identify your material. So that's how you can make the right choice on how efficient your building material is. So one example that we wanted to state is about steel. We all know that steel, which primary ore based, is highly carbon intensive. Say about ranging 2.3 to 2.5 with the first example of the primary steel. But an average green product, but I'm talking average, the so far that we have certified is ranging between 2.1 to 2.3 ton CO2 equivalent per metric ton. Compared to the secondary steel, which contains higher percentage of recycled content, You can see an average Green Pro product ranges from 0.85 to 1.6 ton CO2 equivalent per metric ton, whereas the typical steel product will be 1.5 to 1.8. So imagine the amount of CO2 already reduced just by replacing a single steel product in your building with the eco-label product. Second highest contributing is cement, where we are aware about how the production is so carbon intensive that it causes damage at a larger scale. Here the clinkers, where we can replace it with, say, slag and fly ash, as sir had also mentioned about the alternative materials. And there are a lot of examples also available. And in our website, you will find specific products that are there that contribute lesser carbon emissions, ranging from 50 to 60% less carbon intensive. Then about the building envelope, where Neetu ma'am also highlighted about the whole building envelope, that each building contributes to multiple factors. So one of it is also about the glass installation. We Indians get inspired by a lot of international building structures. We see a lot of glass and we want to install it in our structure as well. So if there is a lot of glass in your building, then please go for the high performing glasses, where your solar heat gains are lesser in the hotter areas. And overall, you will see a clear reduction in your cooling demands as well. So each of these effects have an parallel effect on your cooling demands as well. And there will be lighting energy reduction and daylighting enhancement as well in your whole building. Of course, if you compare the cost analysis, the operational cost will reduce. And if you go for a conventional cost where the capital cost may be low, but again, the overall period of your 60-year, the operation cost increases. So when I spoke about the green procurement guideline, these are some of the examples of the departments that are working with us currently to implement these guidelines and follow the green procurement rules. Right now, Green Pro Eco-Label specified as a criteria in these standards for procurement guidelines around 17 different states. We're also currently working with APCRDA to build up their green procurement guidelines. Quickly moving on to industrial sector, Green Pro is also part in facilitating the manufacturer to achieve net zero goal by establishing carbon footprint in the product cycles as well. We're very proud to announce that we had certified the first eco-label two-wheeler. This is a TVS scooter that you see in the image here. Apart from that, we have also studied and certified 100 plus products through our LCAs, 15 product categories, and also Dune Saman, which is our first international eco-label under the industrial segment. These are some of the scale-ups that we have been working so far. Moving on to the consumers, we have certified 800 plus consumer products, which includes your lighting products, outdoor public lighting, commercial lighting, indoor and RE integrated lighting as well. And 3 products have been newly added, which is fans and tissue papers as well. We are working with 2 international projects as well, which is Dyson and Unilever. Some of the service-related activities that we are doing, this is a recent activity that Green Pro has started in terms of certifying for facility management. Currently, we are doing about 10 pilot projects across the 10 and 10 owner building occupieds, where there has been a clear benefit seen in enhancement of services for efficiency, quality, as well as the cost. So there is an improvement in overall occupant health and well-being, safety, as well as comfort. Last but not the least, Green Pro is a platform where you can identify the right product for your building, and we can facilitate it throughout the journey of its life cycle in understanding the entire embodied carbon as well as your operational carbon, helping in facility. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Asfia. Now, we can have some questions from the audience. Anybody? You were raising your hand somewhere. Yes, please.
I have a question for Mrs. Neetu Jain. What will be the cost per square feet for roof?
So when we talk about the cool top premiums, the complete system, it is 35 rupees per square feet with installation. If we talk about the affordable one, it is 25 rupees per square feet with installation.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question to Mr. Arun Kumar. See, nowadays in cities, we see the lack of parking spaces. And nowadays, everywhere, most of the architects, developers are using mechanical parkings. Is there any higher standards for that?
Yeah, thank you for raising this very important aspect, sir. Not only a standard, in the ongoing revision of the National Building Code of India, we are introducing a new chapter under Part 8 Building Services, Section 5, under the lifts chapter basically. So it is going to cover puzzle parking system also, fully mechanized or automatic system also, or semi-mechanized system also. It will be either fully above ground or fully below ground or a combination also. So all the possible options have also been introduced in this particular revision of NBC. Not only addressing the parking aspect, we are also addressing in it the asset and facility management related aspect also. What are the safety features for electrical installations in them? And more importantly, the fire safety features also. Should we have at all a fire sprinkler in them? If so, which type of K-factor sprinkler? And what is a liter per minute discharge? And all those guidance are coming up. Those who have already followed the draft of that particular chapter, they would have the copy. Very recently, it got finalized. Maybe in the coming months, the NBC Part 8, Section 5C will have the requirements.
Adding on to that, does it carry any user safety standards?
Safety on the lifts or
On the
for
parking slot.
on the mechanical parking systems.
Yeah.
User safety.
Yeah.
That's why, as I mentioned, the electrical safety aspects are also.
No, the problem
connected in
happens
it.
is during the operation. When you are allowed to park in yourself inside the parking lot,
Yes.
you know how to come out safely, and it's not
Yes.
properly guided.
That's right. That's right. So to an extent we have given, because in certain semi-mechanized system, a user who is a common man need not enter into all the levels. He goes to that particular entry level, select bay, he drops the vehicle and he gives the key to the in charge over there. The vehicle is shifted there. That is one system. In another system, the operator will press certain buttons, etc., and the vehicle is lifted, and in front of your eyes it is happening. In certain systems, it is shielded. You will not directly see it. All the more, we don't want people to go to all the levels, but wherever it is required, it is like 2016 version of the building code. The annex in part 4, it gives regular parking. You can go to any level, but in mechanized, people are not expected to go to all the levels. There are designated points where common man will go. In other areas, the operator goes, and there are more specific areas where only the maintenance team will go and operate the services.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Neetu ma'am mentioned pervious pavements, and from the image I could assume it might be pervious concrete. Am I right?
So it has different variants.
Okay.
So one is concrete, one is pebbles also. So as per the requirement of the design.
Sure. So with respect to that, my question is to Arun Kumar sir. Sir, in BIS, from what I understand, there is mention of pervious pavers, but specific standardization is missing, or am I wrong?
The product standard for certain tiles or slabs which are pervious in nature, that has not come up yet. But the aspects which are required for pervious pavement, those were introduced in the part 11, as you have already known it. It is not only that particular block or a tile. One should have planned the entire substrata itself, so that the water is either channelized to both the sides or to one side, and then a proper concealed channel is somewhere running. Those things we are putting up in the handbook on construction practices also, And speaking of construction practices, we are also this time including about trenchless technology system, what Mr. Huck was mentioning in the first presentation today.
This is the question for Mr. Arun Kumar. I'm an architect. I have done a training in Kerala Lorry Baker Center. Now, there I have found many school buildings, many institutional buildings. The roof structure, they are making only the slab portion, they are filling with clay tiles, coconut shell, and your curd, clay curd. So is it applicable as per BIS standards? This I am facing because the things are very good. These are all sustainable. And I want to apply. I am from Calcutta, Durgapur region, West Bengal. So there I want to apply for these things. And now I am facing the question that is it as per the standards?
Okay, very excellent question, I should say. Can we pick up a technology or a practice or a traditional item which has been followed for years, both in terms of material as well as the artisans or the manpower who are traditionally learned and skilled in another portion of the country? That is one aspect. And the main aspect is whether standards are permitting it. The same answer. Part 11 has been mentioning all such sustainable technologies can be considered. But you should have a wherewithal of finding the right person also. That is separate. If you find him, use it. But more important is, do you want to do an engineering testing also to find out whether it is going to actively perform in a seismic zone number 3 for Kolkata, or 4 for Delhi, or 5 in the upper Himalayas, etc., etc. So that somebody has to test and find out. For upper Himalaya region, particularly zone 4 and zone 5, one should test. But more importantly, if this is coming on top of the RCC slab, then you need not test it one more time. But if it is integral within the RCC slab itself, then one has to do the testing.
Now Mr. Architect Lorry Baker had now died, but he was using for a very long time, for almost 40-50 years. Now these are all tested and structurally they are viable. I have found many buildings almost 40 years, 42 years, like that. So structurally, if it is permissible, can the standards permit those things?
Only 8 different structural systems are given in the building code, and there are numerous other Indian standards for other systems also. There are 2 colleagues sitting in the front row who are also in the same seat of mine in the Bureau of Indian Standards as in the Civil Engineering Department of BAS, and some of them would also like to answer the question. Maybe separately after the panel discussion, we'll have a direct one-on-one reply on this one, sir.
Thank you.
Any new material, any technology can be used. You are very right. These are not new. These are proven, old, time-tested. Living elements, living structures are there. What more should be tested? That is your very specific question, right? Yeah, it need not be once again tested if it is on an isolated scale. But if you are going to repeat it on a higher, say, vertical, tall building, etc., then maybe somebody can consider testing and using it.
Even just 1 minute. Lorry Baker had done one hotel, 6-storied hotel on a beach in Kerala. And there, what I have seen from the pictures, for pile foundation, he had used bamboo. For tie beam, he has used only bamboo. And that building, almost 35-40 years, is still there. Now, we want to also apply, because now sustainability has come up in a very wide way.
Yeah, Part 6, Section 3B of NBC, which is talking about use of bamboo, and similarly 3A on timber. Bamboo in foundation is there right from NBC 2005. And largely, as you mentioned, even when the displaced people from adjacent country to us, when they came to India and they got settled in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, government also constructed so many buildings and structures which had used bamboo as foundation as well as in structural element also.
Very
as
right.
a replacement of rebars.
Yeah, very right. Arun has really brought it out. And since the mention to Laurie Baker has been mentioned once, twice, but thrice over there, I want to indicate that all the technologies that have been used by Laurie Baker, be it on rat trap bond in construction or filler slab in roofing, rat trap bond as against English bond and Flemish bond in construction, or filler slab for roofing by knocking off tension concrete and putting fillers in that particular area, all have been validated. Maybe you're not aware. And at one point of time, they felt that all these technologies have been used by Baker is it like a quacker is done that? Not at all. They have been, for 1 year, testing has been done in the College of Engineering, Guindy, the oldest engineering college in this country and Asia, for 1 year, and they proved that the rat trap bond wall, which has got cavity of 25%, is the strongest than an English bond and Flemish bond, where you thought it's weaker. And you're talking to me because my house was being built by Baker 27 years back, and I said we'll use, it's a design where single story to double story to triple story, 4 stories there. Since it's proved already that it is stronger than English and Flemish bond, we will use rat trap bond, structural load-bearing wall, no column at all anywhere, no column at all, and that is 1997. Now we are in 2026. 29 inches stood that because the work done by Dr. Shantakumar and his team in the structural engineering department of College of Engineering Guindy have shown that brickwork never fails in compression. Compression stress, the stress that's coming is only 3.5 kg per cm squared, whereas brick even the Raddi brick has got a crushing strength of around 35 kg or 70 kg. Bengal will get even about 100 H by T ratio that's required. That's what in the building code, it was correctly put over there. And the brick which is kept, not with 3 inches height, but is 4.5 inches height, has got a better Z coming over there. So they are able to withstand buckling well. That is why if English bond was failing 100, Flemish was failing 115, rat trap bond wall was failing 115. Today, the 4-storied structural load-bearing wall is there in a house because that structural validity is there, rational. That's why in the National Building Code, already in the 2016 version, rat trap bond is already included over there. I just thought. So also similarly, the filler slab to be done as against your normal one, where roughly around 35% of the concrete is removed in the tension zone. And when you look at the rods are there, it was tested for deflection, it was tested for bending movement, it has been tested for impact. All the three and proved that it's as strong and durable. So we are talking of technologies where understanding of the technology is very, very important. So Bakerji knew intuitively they were good. But I'm a civil engineer, most of them are accepting of Divya Kush as an architect. So they were trying to say that he has not been doing it scientifically. So really speaking, it's because we didn't know that the rat trap bond is as good or better than because that's why they are not used to it. Filler slab, they are never used to it. So they are doing it merely the way in which more and more of cement, concrete and steel being done. Our idea is to use steel and concrete effectively, efficiently, economically. That's where he has been able to prove functionally that it can be cheaper also, because the amount of steel consumption also become substantially reduced over there. And even in the brickwork over there, you are saving around 30% brick. The number of horizontal joints got reduced of 12. If you put about in 1 foot 4 joints, and if you put 10 feet around 40 joints, it'll come to 27 joints, 4.5 inches height over there. And the amount of mortar per joint also is come down. So you save money also, you're also producing a better house. So they should understand. So Bakerji, our thing is not to be looked at, not only he's brought beautiful houses, aesthetically good, he's also a very strong, intuitively a strong structural engineer. You should understand that. I mean, that aspect is not understood. And that has been tested and validated. No, it has been tested. Yeah, it has been tested. Hutco when I was CMD HUDCO, we referred that to College of Engineering for 1 year testing. So tested and validated. That's how it got found place in 2005 and 2016 version of the National Building Code. I just thought the clarifications will be very relevant. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think one last hand, there is one member there.
Maybe one last question. If, yes.
Greetings to the chair, the dignitaries on the dais, and this August assembly. I am Ajay Kumar Harid, the first entrapped dampness engineering scientist in the world, bringing the first standardizing tool for the construction industry as moisture audit. So my question to the chair and Arun Saab is that since 1980, the construction industry quality of the structures has been on a continuous decline. So my mentor, Professor Sushil Kumar Agarwal, IIT said, the author of StatPro, terms it as infrastructure engineering terrorism brought into the Indian construction industry. That we are having the best of best construction chemicals, best of best standards and tests and everything. But why is my service life of the buildings is going down? One. So second is, my question to Arunji will be that BIS is working so hard on creating these standards. And one day I saw Geo that this is for just reference sake. Isn't it high time that at least for construction industry, BIS standard need to be made mandatory? Otherwise, should be told to Mr. Modi on the face that Viksit Bharat 2047 will be a Mungeri Lal Ka Haseen Sapna if you don't sustain your structures. Because with the structure, MEP also goes down, creating lot of carbon footprints and everything. Thank you, gentlemen.
First thing first. First of all, I like to beg to differ that the quality of construction is steadily going down since 80s. That's not correct. There may be isolated cases of bad construction, poor finishing, etc., etc. But generally speaking, my observation is that the quality of construction is in fact improved. I mean, we can draw such inferences from incidents like, there was a New Ashoknagar metro station. There was a tornado next day after the inauguration and the entire roof went off. I mean, those are isolated instances. But to say that DMRC is doing a bad job will be too much of an exaggeration of a isolated incident. So we should somewhat refrain from that. Number two, the responsibility lies with we architects, planners, and the people who are involved in the building industry. We have good materials, we have good standards, we have good tools and technologies to do a good job. If that is not happening in some cases, responsibility lies with we people who are designing, supervising, and executing the works, right? And rest, Mr. Ankumar will be answering.
No, I think Mr. Ajay Harid was mentioning about one GO, government order, which only made a clarification about the status of National Building Code from the Bureau of Indian Standards perspective. We have made 22,000 plus standards, which include special publication. And all our publications are only voluntary in nature. The moment any Indian standard or a special publication is included in a tender document, or it is in the contract document of between parties, or if it is reflected in a quality control order, or if it is there in a government order, etc., only in those cases, following the shall clauses of that particular standard or special publication is essential. Otherwise, that particular order is nothing wrong. It is only clarifying the picture to the new set of people who are worried by seeing the word code. Is it something to do with the Indian Penal Code or otherwise? It's nothing but national building standards, if I can put it technically. That's all.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we are running short of time now. All the questions, I think, have been very adequately answered by the panelists and very well further explained by Mr. Suresh, who is an expert on all the matters related to our area of activities. Right? You want to say something? No. Your mic is low. They're not able to hear. Okay. So, with this, we would like to conclude the session. I must like to thank all my co-panelists over here, and the presence of Mr. V. Suresh over here has been very, very encouraging. And best part has been the question answer session. And this proves that everybody has listened to the panelists very intently and had very serious questions to ask. Whatever is left in their mind as unanswered can be discussed during the cup of tea after the first. Thank you very much.